All right, Mr. Walker's cereal examples made me hungry. Well, we're going to be adding these fractions today. We're looking at adding mixed numbers and a fraction. So, as you saw, the only thing that's a little bit tricky about this is when you get a fraction that's an improper fraction, you kind of have to break it apart, decompose it, and add it on to the other whole number. So, you saw that in his examples. I'll show you in our examples as well. The first one's pretty easy. 3 1/4 plus 1/4 more. So we've got the 3, that doesn't change. But we have a 1/4 plus a 1/4. What's that? 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4. So 3 2/4. And we like it today because we have common denominators, don't we? We don't have to worry about finding equivalent fractions and like denominators today. We're just adding across. So that's easy. 7 3/4 plus 1/4. So I've got 7. And then I've got a 3/4 plus a 1/4, which makes 4/4. Now, what do we know about 4/4? We know that 4/4 is the same as 1. So if I have 7 and 1 more, what do I have? I have 8. So anytime today you get a fraction that equals to 1, you need to add it to that whole number, okay? Sometimes we might even have to decompose it and add it and have a fraction left. All right? Even if it's written backwards. 3/8 plus 5 2/8. With that 5 is not having anything added to it yet, is it? So 5 3/8 plus 2/8 is what? 5/8. So don't let it confuse you if it's written backwards. You're still just adding the whole numbers and then adding the fractions. All right, the next one is 1/8 plus 6 7/8. So we don't have anything but a 6, and then we do 1/8 plus 7/8 equals 8/8. Oh, what do we notice? Can't leave it like that today. It'll count it wrong. 8/8 is a whole. It's a 1. So 6 and 1 more would be 7. This is pretty easy compared to what we've been doing. I have to tell you, this seems like a breeze compared to the lessons we've been doing last week and earlier this week. Now, this is when it gets a little bit tricky. When we have to think about these, how would we get a 5 if we had 4 7/8? Well, I know 4 and 1 more would be 5. So what do I need to add to a 7/8 to make it 8/8? Well, I would need to add a 1/8, wouldn't I? 4 7/8 plus 1/8 would be 4 8/8, and that 8/8 would turn into 5. So the answer is I would need to add a 1/8. Okay, 7 2/5 plus what would equal 8? Well, I've got to get 5/5. So if I have 2/5, how many more fifths do I need? I need 3/5 more because 7 2/5 plus 3/5 would be 7 5/5, and 5/5 plus would be 1 plus 7 would be 8. So the answer is 3/5. Okay, this one's written backwards, but it's the same thing. 3 would equal 2 1/6 plus how many more 6 would I need to get a whole? If I have 1/6, then I need 5 6 more because that would be 2 6 6 if we added it. And that would be 1 plus 2 would be the 3. So the answer is 5/6. 12 is 11 1/12 plus how many more? Well, we need to make this 12/12. And if I have 1/12, I need 11/12 more to make a whole 12/12. Added to the 11 would be 12. So the answer is 11/12. Okay, so simple so far. Now when we get down to this third part here, we're going to have a little bit of a different step, but nothing too hard. So we've got 2 3/4 plus 2/4. So we're going to leave the 2 alone. And then we have 3/4 plus 2/4. That's 5/4. Do you see how this is different? Because 5/4 is more than 1. So we've got to, when we have an improper fraction on this part, we're going to need to decompose it today. Okay? Or sometimes called a number bond. So 5/4, we can make it 4/4 as a whole, and then 1/4 more, right? 4/4 and 1/4 more. 4 plus 1 would be 5. So we know this is 1. So I'm going to take that 2, and I'm going to add that 1 to it, which makes it 3. And then I have this 1/4 left to put up here. So 2 and 5/4 is the same as 3 and 1/4. So this is not hard. We did things like this for the last couple of weeks. Moving on. We're moving right along today, aren't we? All right, 3 and 3/5 plus 3/5. Just leaving the 3 alone, but we have 3/5 plus 3/5 gives us 6/5. Can't hardly see that, can you? Let me zoom in a bit. I don't know what's wrong with the light on my Elmo. There it is. Okay. 3 and 6/5. Now we've got to decompose 6/5 into 5/5 and 1/5. 5 plus 1 is 6/5. I'm going to take the 1/5 and I'm going to add it to the 5/5, which is 1, and I'm going to add it to the 3, which makes it a 4, and then I have this 1/5 left. And then when we move to part 4, you're just solving them. They may be different kinds of problems, but like I said, the good thing today, at least we've got common denominators. So 4 and 2/3 plus 2/3 is going to give us 4 and 4/3. Got to decompose. 4/3 will be 3/3 and 1/3. That's a whole plus a 4 would be a 5 and then 1/3 left. Are you getting that? And we got several more to work together. If you don't, you might want to write a problem down and then try it on your own as you pause the video and then watch me work it and see if you get the same answer. That's a good strategy to practice before you have to do it for the assignment. Pause the video and work it while I'm working it and then see if we get the same answer. So this time we've got 3 and 3/5 plus 4/5. The whole number is 3. The fractions are 3/5 plus 4/5 equals 7/5. All right, let's decompose 7/5 to 5/5 and 2/5. 5 plus 2 is 7/5. This 5/5 is a whole, so I'm going to add that 1 to the 3. It makes it a 4. Then I have this 2/5 left. Did you get it right? Let's see if you can beat me doing this next one. 5 and 4/6 plus 5/6. So we have 5 and then 4/6 plus 5/6 is 9/6. Decompose. 9/6 would be 6/6 and 3/6. This makes a whole. 5 and 1 would be 6. And then I have 3/6 more. I bet I beat you. What do you think? 7/8 and plus 6 and 4/8. So we've got a 6 as a whole number. Then we've got 7/8 plus 4/8 is 11/8. So 6 and 11/8. Decompose it to 8/8 and 3/8. 8/8 is a whole. It's 1. So 6 and 1 would be 7. And then I have 3/8 more. Couple more we'll do together before you go try it on your own today. Actually, 4 more it looks like. Maybe even more than that. Yeah, no, that's all. 4 more. Okay. So 7/10 plus 7 and 9/10. All right, let's do what we've been doing. We got the 7, and we got 7/10 plus 9/10 would be 16/10. Decompose 16/10 into 10/10 and 6/10. 10/10 is a whole. 7 plus that whole 1 is 8. Then I have 6/10 more. Looks like we're going to get some big numbers down here at the bottom, doesn't it? 9 and 7/12 plus 11/12. It's going to be 9. Now let's add our fractions. 7/12 plus 11/12 is 18/12. Decompose it. 12/12 and 6/12 more would be 18/12. This 12/12 is equal to 1 plus the 9 would be 10 and 6/12. Look at these. Can we do these? Sure we can. 2 and 70/100 plus 87/100. So that's going to be 2. And then I'm going to have to add 70 plus 87. You might need to come over here and do it. If you can't do it in your head, write it on some notebook paper. Okay, 87 plus 70, 7 plus 0 is 7, 8 plus 7 is 15, so 157, so this is 2, and 157 100ths. So we got to decompose that, which it's not as hard as it sounds. It's going to be 100 100ths would equal 1, and how many's left? 57 100ths. So 100 100ths is 1 plus 2 is 3, and 57 100ths. That wasn't that bad, was it? All right, let's see how this one goes. 50 100ths plus 16 and 78 100ths. All right, we've got a whole number 16. We've got to add this 50 and 78. All right, 0 plus 8 is 8. 5 plus 7 is 12. So that's 128 100ths. So 16 and 128 100ths. Decompose it. We can do 100 100ths to equal 1. There would be 28 100ths left. So this is 1 whole plus 16 is 17 and 28 100ths left. All righty. That's how you do today's assignment. There's a whole bunch of examples. It starts off easy and then gets a little more complicated and you have to decompose the last few. But I know you can do it because you're smart and you're a pro at this. I'll see you at the Google Meet.